What's up, Taiwan? I'm Brossard with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Former workers will get compensation for the suffering they say came from working at a U.S. company's former plant in northern Taiwan. But the workers' lawyers say the new court ruling may not be the end of a toxic chemicals case that's been moving slowly through the court system for decades. John Van Trieste reports.
Compensation is on the way for workers who say they've suffered from exposure to toxic chemicals between the 1970s and early 90s. A new high court ruling awards more than $5 million to the remaining 200-odd employees of the former Taoyuan plant of the now defunct Radio Corporation of America. But this doesn't look like the end of a class action lawsuit that's been smoldering away for 20 years. RCA was a major electronics maker which chose Taiwan as a production site at a time of low wages and loose regulations. It was only after the company left Taiwan that the public became aware of the scale of the toxic pollution it left behind. Former workers say years of handling chemicals inside the plant has left them with cancer and other ailments, and that chemicals are also to blame for the early deaths of dozens of colleagues.
从我们的步伐可以稳健的到现在，已经是步履蹒跚。从我们的黑发到现在的白发，其中有些会员因为等不及就先走了。今天有了判赔，可是其实那个金额真的不高。
The new court ruling is the latest in a series of wins the workers have had since 2015, but it isn't a total victory. The court says the 222 plaintiffs had not suffered obvious damage to their health, just to their right of what it calls their physical integrity. The payout is also far less than the $33 million the plaintiffs sought, something that has proven hard to swallow.
我们当初为了台湾的经济起飞，我们牺牲了我们的健康权，那结果换来我们这一生这些病痛。那最痛恨的就是我们卵巢癌，还有内膜癌，还有很多的什么心脏各等的这些症状，就是被我认为这特殊的就不承认。
And so, workers' lawyers say the fight may continue.
他似乎认为没有健康权的侵害，那这一点我们是有一点怀疑，这样对吗？那我们觉得。 对这件事情，我们会律师团跟这个自救会会跟这些顾问工商协会会讨论要不要上诉。
The question is how far lawyers can go in redressing what's become known as one of Taiwan's major modern environmental scandals. Andy Xue and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Over 100 people have died from flu in Taiwan this flu season, as the number of those seeking treatment for the virus reaches a 10-year high. Taiwan's Centers for Disease Control, or CDC, says nearly 140,000 people sought medical attention for the flu last week alone. Emergency room visits accounted for nearly 13% of these. The CDC expects the outbreak to peak around the Lunar New Year later this month and urges everyone, including healthy individuals, to get vaccinated, citing the recent death of an unvaccinated teenager. A former Lithuanian official says support for Ukraine translates to support for Taiwan. Gabrielius Landsbergis made the comments in a keynote speech during his first trip to Taiwan. Louise Watt was there.
Lithuania's former top diplomat, who's in Taiwan to receive a government honor for his contribution in boosting ties between the two countries. He says that democratic states are facing their most significant challenge since the end of the Cold War. Speaking in Taipei, Gabrielius Landsbergis told diplomats and analysts that the world is on the brink of dividing into democratic nations and authoritarian ones, and that democratic friends must stand together to preserve the rules-based order.
By supporting Ukraine, we are simultaneously contributing to deterring China around Taiwan. Sharing lessons from Ukraine strengthens Taiwan's defense capabilities. Authoritarians learn from each other.
Landsbergis was Lithuania's foreign minister up until a month ago, after his party lost elections. While in office, he oversaw a significant improvement in relations with Taiwan and lobbied for global support for Taiwan, angering China, which downgraded diplomatic relations with Lithuania in response. Lithuania was a rare friend to Taiwan, willing to challenge China and take on the political consequences. The worry now for Taiwan is with a new Lithuanian government keen to reset relations with China. Taiwan will be that bit more alone again. Klein Wong and Louise Watt in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
The scenic mountains of Alishan in southern Taiwan are known for their breathtaking views, but it's also home to an unexpected crop with a spicy twist. Today, in part 3 of our series, Where's the Chiayi County Chief Taking Us? Andrew Ryan learns how this fiery root is making a culinary comeback.
Most visitors to Alishan spend their time gazing up at the towering trees reaching more than 40 meters into the sky. These Taiwan red cypress are thought to be thousands of years old. But down beneath the surface of the earth, there's another treasure that's often overlooked. The locals call it green gold. This is wasabi, an essential Japanese condiment that's paired with something that's hard to find in these parts, sashimi, or raw fish. Wasabi is a finicky root. You can only harvest it during a 2-month period once every 3 years. Farmers have been growing wasabi here since the Japanese colonial era, even though these forests are off limits. 70-year-old Zhang Jinping, the owner of this small farm, began trading wasabi at the age of 22. But when the authorities began cracking down on the harvest, it almost wiped out a beloved tradition. Now, he's trying to find a viable way to bring it back.
Wasabi。那么自从阿里山wasabi没落以后，找不到地方去种植。我们现在在这边做护育，最主要的工作就是wasabi不要离开阿里山。
The distinct nose-clearing heat of wasabi comes from the root, and you get maximum flavor by grinding it fresh. While most people eat wasabi with sashimi or sushi, you can also enjoy it as a juice or a flavored salt. And there's another, more unconventional way to experience it, a dessert that bites back.
Ice cream. Wasabi ice cream. Never heard of something like this before. 要不要一起吃一口？
怎么样？
很香。That's great. It has all of the sweetness and the fragrance of the wasabi with just a tiny bit of the spice. Very refreshing on a hot day.
Wasabi farmer Zhang Jinping is working alongside local indigenous farmers to cultivate these precious plants at lower altitudes where it's legal to grow them. And they've got support from the county government.
那现在在实验的复育过程当中，那初步看起来好像可行。我们希望它可以复育成功，能够让台湾的消费者又能够吃到阿里山的山葵。
From a centuries-old condiment to a bold new ingredient, wasabi has become a symbol of Alishan's resilience. Even though it's rooted in the past, it continues to offer fresh possibilities for the future. Devin Tsai, Joseph Wu, Peachy Drong, and Andrew Ryan for TaiwanPlus. Coming up in part 4, what do you do when a typhoon deposits stacks of wood in your reservoir? Well, we'll take you to a village that's turning driftwood into violins.
You can find more episodes in the series, Where's the County Chief Taking Us, on our website at TaiwanPlus.com. Thanks for joining us on What's Up Taiwan. Check out our website and social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we take you to Bulgaria to see this local celebration marking the end of winter. I'm Brossard. Take care, and we'll see you next time.